Yes, y'all, welcome to this week's Wind Down segment. If you're new to the Wind Down, this is a format that we do exclusively on video. And it's like a segment where we get to continue a conversation that might have started on the show. And we didn't fully get to flesh it out because, we can talk forever. So we do a separate segment and we choose one specific topic. We invite one of our wonderful former guests on and we continue the conversation with them. This week, we have the beautiful Selah Genesis in the building. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, you guys. What up, everybody watching?
Hey, it's lit. See, first of all, I love the energy. You were one of definitely our most energetic guests.
Oh yeah, nice.
Facts.
Okay.
Definitely a fact.
Like you can't be down when you're talking to this lady right here.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's good energy.
That's a good thing, right? Yeah, that's a good thing. Now, so for today's wind down, we wanted to discuss. Oh, my computer is doing weird things. I'm sorry. Can you guys see me?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right. So, for today's wind down, we wanted to discuss a topic that Clarence and I have dibbled and dabbled. I don't know if those are words in the past and then like we kind of almost brought it up this week again too. When it comes to women in the workplace, we could specify to Black women as both of us here are Black women and Clarence is a Black man, but definitely I know that women in general go through certain things in the workplace that aren't always fair. Recently, we heard Meghan Markle. You might have heard of this woman. She's married to a prince or something. She married into the royal family, and she spoke about going through difficulties in her new role, which was it is a role that you enter into. And having certain things written about her and certain experiences that she was experiencing within the family and within the firm itself, and going to HR and kind of just being pacified and being told certain things that would be done, but nothing was ever done. My question to just open it up is like, in your guys' work experience with women, with other women, as a woman, how has that been for you? What have you observed?
No. By my experience and just by talking to women in my circle in general, man, definitely women, they start like on a -1,000, if not like million, compared to
Yikes.
the others, which is sucks. And the other thing that I feel too though, is that women at work too sometimes, yeah, they go through stuff, but I feel like if there was more unity too, it could help some of the situation going on, because I witnessed a lot of stuff. Like, for example, I'm trying to like put a story out, but my girl, she been through a lot at work. Her past work, to the point like where she would like just walk around and people would whisper because there was some rumors about her or whatever, but mainly it came from women. It's like, why? Like, y'all should stick together, man. Like, they don't understand. But the thing is, like, this, as crazy as it sounds, man gonna be man. Man gonna be
Yeah, that
man.
sounds crazy. Okay,
No,
I'm
man,
gonna let you
no,
keep going.
like in a way that like man gonna be man. I don't feel that they're gonna change. They always have that sense of like superiority or whatever, and they use it for the wrong cause sometimes, especially in a work environment. They
Oh,
always, I feel like some women, like, they really trying to make them work to have like, to, how can I say that, to make them have what they want, when it shouldn't be the case. They should have as equal chance as the men right next to
Right.
her. So no, I feel like there's definitely something wrong and it need to change. Will it change anytime soon? I don't know, but for sure, like, man, and I feel like, man, women got so much to offer too, man. We need to stop like treating them in a bad way in the work environment and everything, and we need more unity. Like I said, that's how I feel, from what I witness, you know. With
Sayla, you seem to have had some to kind of say there.
well, no, I agree. Well, past experience, not now, but I guess I come from a culinary background, so it's like, and I'm very easygoing. Like I don't really get offended too easily or
Mhm.
anything. So there's a lot of like sexual jokes and things that go on like crazy stuff. Like
Mhm.
I've had a chef slap my ass with a spatula before.
Oh.
and been like, and like say like crazy things to me. And I've had racist chefs say, like, now that I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't have any experiences, but now that we brought it to just being in the workplace, yeah, I've had lots crazy work experiences with men and women. I've been scratched. I've had my hair pulled. Like I've had people like just like sabotage my work. I've had people like eat my own personal food like in front of my face. Like I have had the craziest work experiences in my life. That's all. Like,
so how many people got knocked out? Because
nobody, because I knew that was what was trying to happen. That's okay. One thing about being a Black woman in the workplace, being a Black person in the workplace, is I feel like sometimes people are trying to press those triggers because they want you to lash out in the way so they can go, see, oh, there they are. They're like that. When it's just like, what, we're human beings that don't like to take crap like anybody else. Like, you know what I mean?
See,
but
and
they always want to
go ahead,
put a name on it and label us as a certain way when any normal human being would react that way when being disrespected. But for some reason, when it's a Black woman, it's the angry Black woman.
Angry Black woman.
Angry woman, blah, blah, blah. So it's like a lot of times I kept my composure. Like I didn't just slide down and take it. It was very firm and very stern and very like, don't mess with me. But I did it in a way that maybe they didn't expect me to react, because I know they wanted me to just like snap and freak out, which is what I wanted to do. But I was like, I'm not gonna when I know what's happening, I'm not gonna allow someone to put me in that position because I'm in control. So
yeah,
I just removed myself. Like I quit jobs before. I've demoted myself to getting
that's unfair.
Take away. Yeah, it's not fair. I was like, for my peace of mind, I've had lots of crazy things happen to me in various workplaces over the years.
But that's the thing. There's so much that you can take, and like you can act the peaceful way. They're gonna push your button. Then you're acting like you're snapping, and you go after them.
And then you're
acting wrong. So
damned if you do, damned if you don't. And you see, like honestly, and Clarence knows, every time we talk about this subject, I get a little bit emotional because I just like I see it a lot. I have gone through a lot in my career, and I've been blessed to like at a young age have had a lot of opportunities within my field. When I do know that a lot of people graduate and don't find jobs within their field, so I am lucky to have had that. But what I would say is, like, in media and communications, there's not a lot of Black women behind the scenes, and it's difficult, like from and that's why I immediately resonated with that part that Megan talked about, because I was like, that had the request come from somebody different, it would have been taken more seriously. And that's what was like, because I've been there. I've been there when you go and voice a complaint and it's like, girl, like, what, you're making a big deal out of like nothing right now. Like, you should be able to handle that. Like one of my first jobs, like I was I was working at the front of the office, and I was in charge of different partnerships that the place had. And whenever clients would come in, they would kind of like, and they wanted to partner, or they wanted some advertising or something like that, and they would immediately just look past me, and that was something I started to recognize. I was like, okay, so they were looking for the white hetero man, because that had to be the person who was in charge, and the actual manager of the place was a white woman, but we were the three in the front of the office, and it was almost like a hierarchy in the way that people addressed us. You would see them first go to, I don't want to say the name, so I'll say Stan, whatever. They would first go to Stan, then Stan would say, that's not me, I'm not in charge of that. Then they'd go to Emily, and she'd be like, no, I'm not in charge of that. And then they'd finally look back to the front at me like, oh, I guess I need to talk to you. And it was like a thing that the first time I was like, oh, that's, a mistake. And it kept happening and happening and happening. And I was like, people actually don't take me seriously. And it's like, what is that? And you go through situations where people like tell you that you're always angry. Like, why are you always angry? And in your head, you're like, I'm like, am I angry, or am I just reacting to things that I feel like normal people would react to? You know what I mean? There's been the sexual harassment type things as well. You know what I mean? ludicrous things have been said to me in the workplace. Comments have been made in front of me that I felt were inappropriate as well. I've been verbally attacked in the workplace and made to just kind of like sit there. And I'm thinking of a specific incident where I was in such shock that the person came over to my cubicle and said that to me.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I didn't want to cry because you try to, I'm not gonna cry, but you're gonna cry in the car type thing. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I got up, I immediately went to my supervisor's desk because his office was like far away. So he wouldn't have known what had happened on the floor. And I immediately snitched as like, yeah, today I'm snitching today. Like that was heinous what was said to me. And I always felt like none of my reservations or my experiences were validated or taken seriously. And it's the thing that's tough for me, to be honest. It's not something I enjoy admitting that happens. And yes, for sure, as you mentioned, we can take ourselves out of the situation. I can quit. I recently had a situation where I had to remove myself from a specific project because of a situation that I didn't like. And looking back at that, I'm not actually happy with it because it's like I took an opportunity away from myself because of, some blatant racism that was happening. But it's like at the end of the day, do I win or do they win? Like, peace of mind, I guess.
But that type of situation, like I'm not a woman, but still, as a black man, I can relate in a certain way. My past experience is like, man, kill them with success to the point like if you're not there no more, man, they'll run after you. They'll realize like, damn, it happened to me in the past. Like at one point, like I felt like the disrespect was so real or whatever, like the way that they were treating me. I'm like, you know what? Like, yo, I'm gonna quit. I'm not giving you 2 weeks. I'm gonna quit now. What you gonna do about that? I'm gonna do my own stuff. To the point like when they were doing my own stuff, they're like, man, we need to get this guy back. But that's how I feel. They need to realize how much of an asset that you are.
You're like saying be indispensable.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best.
But you shouldn't have to
way to
be
kill them.
indispensable to get respect. Is I think is the point.
Exactly. That's just a common thing, not courtesy. It's just a common right, like birthright for everybody that lives.
Because Jack is over there having his a-hole kissed and he does nothing. And he comes in late 5 times a week and he does nothing, but you respect him. But you're not going to respect me because, I'm female.
They don't respect them, but they just support. Sometimes they just support their own people. That's it. Doesn't matter what it is, through hell or high water. When they know that you're in the wrong, they will support their own just because.
Well, when it comes to white people,
that,
they treat their white women a little tough. They treat their women not great, I would say.
Yeah, but if it came down to you and one of their women, they would still.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
mean, in my past experience, I honestly feel the vibration of the world is changing though. So I think less and less of those experiences are going to be happening.
I hope so.
Waking up and starting to realize that. And a lot of people too are starting to leave those jobs and starting to realize that energy is not worth it. And when you outgrow a certain energy, beef will start happening. And it's maybe even the people don't even know why they're doing it. They're like, what the hell? But it's just because you're no longer a vibrational match and you have to be taken out of that somehow, some way. And it could be those lower vibrations are coming at you like that. And it's making you feel so bad or sick because you don't resonate with that kind of behavior.
Wow.
You have to go. And a lot of people, I think, are starting to just, with all this COVID crap happening, the upside is people are getting a chance to delve into what they like and what they want to do and start figuring out how to use their own authentic ways of being.
To
navigate in this world.
A lot of clarity came out of this panorama, for sure.
I think that we're in a new dimension now too. Like, if you guys know about the age of Aquarius and all that stuff, I'm still learning a lot.
Yes, please, because I was like, because you talking about vibrations and age, leave it up for
I'm still learning a lot about it deeper too, but from my innate understanding, age of Aquarius, we entered into it last year, like near the end of the year, and we haven't been in that kind of realm for over 2,000 years. So we're in the 5th dimension now, which is that pure positive love vibrating energy and those kind of things shifting the world right now. So we're in a mess, but it's like the meltdown before the cleanup, So it's like people are dying, people are getting, like, I honestly believe even some of this COVID stuff, I think there's so many aspects to it, but I also think one of the aspects is a universal spiritual aspect. It's a reset. And how are you going to reset? It has to be something that hits the whole entire world. Everyone has to be affected for it's like a global reset. So people are dying, people are getting sick, but people are also like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff. There's like, you know, new DNA activation codes. And it might sound like I'm like, but if you like look it up and research it yourself, but there's a lot of things, like a lot of universal spiritual things happening that we can't see or not necessarily even know or believe in. But if you can be open to those concepts about energy and how life is going, you will really see a lot of things like, oh, okay, like right now, this mess in this world is so interesting to me. I'm like, I like seeing it. I'm like, this is cool. And I feel like living in the Bible, like all those stuff I learned in church, I feel like it's all true, but they didn't teach it accurately.
Oh, that's
now I'm seeing like scriptures like come to thing, and I'm like, this is so interesting to be in these times. Like,
yeah, you see, because I did hear about Age of Aquarius, and you know, everybody who's tried to explain it to me, I still don't get it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna act, because I tend to think of myself as a pretty smart person. I've done a lot of schooling. I say I'm good with my words, but when I tell you about 15 times this thing has been explained to me, and I'm still unclear, and the only thing I take away from it is like, this is a good time for me because I'm an Aquarius. That's all I'm like. I mean,
no, but you know what? One day it's just gonna like, it'll click. You keep hearing it for a reason. So one day you're gonna just be sitting there, or you're gonna find an article about it and be like, ah. So many things even happened to me today. Recently, I have decided to make the conscious decision to like actually get rid of all the plastic in my house. Like, no more of that. I recycled all of my Tupperware. I bought new glass with bamboo covers, and I'm like, screw this, because everything is energy. So forget about being good to the environment, which is nice, but if you think about everything being energy, if you could think of life in terms of energy and frequency like that, it's easier to navigate it, because you're like, oh, it's just better because it's vibrating at a different level. So if I'm using glass and bamboo, it's environmentally friendly. The people who made that with that intention. Like, they're selling it with those intentions.
I love this.
Better.
So what I need to do to go through less microaggressions at work is I need to realign my energy, because
yeah,
I mean, it could be a big part. I mean, listen,
it's the whole part, yo. I'm telling you,
it's the whole part. Because I do remember when you were on the show and you speaking about that and how energy comes back, and like I remember that part really resonating with me, because I mean, I do think that a lot of us that are currently we're paying for like energy coming back from different aspects or different ancestors that you know that were here before us, and we're kind of receiving, you know, delayed reactions and stuff like that. So I do think that there's definitely like a correlation to certain things. And what I do want to say to like any woman who's watching this or whatever, or a Black woman as well, who may feel like they are at that point where, you know, hey, this is enough is enough, like Sayla was talking about. I think right now is a great time to take that into your own hands and decide, listen, I'm out, you know. And I know it's scary, trust me, I know it's scary, but it keeps coming back for a reason. If it's a persistent thought in your mind, for sure, there's got to be a reason for it, because honestly, nobody deserves that. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be feeling uncomfortable going into any place, or feeling like your butt might get smacked with a spatula. Yeah. Like, I mean, I feel like that everybody should have like a safe bum.
Yeah.
I think,
and you should be joyful where you're going. Like, think about it. Most people are working 9 to 5, 5 days a week. You're spending more time in your place of work than you are anywhere else or with anybody else. So that's all of that energy sucking out your day. So you better have some freaking joy, like at least 5 hours of that day. If you don't, you're in the wrong place. And yeah, like you said, it's scary. But right now, at least we're at an advantage where you don't have to be stressing too hard about money. Like, you might as well just listen. If it's there right now, you must take advantage of it and make it work for you.
Big facts.
And that's
do it. Take the time and then see what happens. Because right now, if not now, when? Like, we gotta get to stepping, man. We gotta make the change. Like, no one's coming to save us. Like, the change starts within, and we have to start making it. little things and consistency. It could be one little thing every day. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe you recycle one paper and you never do before. So maybe you start recycling paper this week. Like that's that huge energetical shift. It's gonna switch the whole world.
No, it's facts, man. I always say to people, and not me, I had that realization like a while ago. I was like, yo, I need to know my worth.
Mm.
I knowing your worth and like just pull the fucking trigger. Sorry, I cussed out, but like it's facts. If you don't know your worth and you staying in your comfort zone, you're not pulling the trigger, like it's a wrap. They're gonna eat you alive.
Mm.
Put your foot down. If you don't put your foot down, like they'll do whatever they want to do with you.
Yeah, and we see it happening right now. Like everyone just listening, like every day they're making up these new rules about this whole situation in the world right now. And I feel like they're just like, let's pull out of a hat and see what they go for. Like, like, you know, it's just like
it's fact.
The fines are ridiculous out here.
It just made you realize how much it just made you realize how much we just a number. We all numbers, but like you just that number that is woke, or you just that number that, man, you lost in the sauce, and like they'll do whatever they want to do with you.
Yep.
Exactly. That's why you got to turn your attention to the things that you want and the changes you want to see, because energy flows where attention goes. So if we keep looking at the problem, all we're gonna get is that 3D world. And like I said, we're up in that 5th dimension now, mother effers. So we have to start being like, what kind of workplace? You know what? We're women in the workplace. We gotta build those workplaces then, maybe, you know, and then start hiring those women and being those supportive women. We just have to be what we want to see more and more. And I find the last several years, like I'll actually remember the year, it was 2014, and I was like, please, universe, I want to like meet more women of color, like, you know, as friends, and that where there's no weirdness. Like I don't know if you've had the situation where you meet some Black women and there's like a weird tension there, and it's like this size up, and I'm like, I'm just personally not like that. I've never been like that, so I can feel it, and it's messed up. But
let's not do that.
Women that I've met since that I put that out there, that I have not had that ever again.
Amen.
Like,
yeah.
Never happened. Like all the girls I've met have been of color, if not Black. They're from some other, like it's just a mix up, a mashup, and it's just.
The thing is, like Clarence said, man, like Clarence said in the beginning with the unity too, like it's like working together instead of working against each other. The minute when we realize that we are so bad, like we are bad, like, and when we work together, like it's unstoppable when you put like a few strong, dope Black women together, like there's like almost nothing that you can't do. So it's like that's an energy shift as well. Like you have to put that in your head too, that you're not gonna go in and be on that defensive. And you know, a lot of it comes from conditioning too, but you know, that's not where the conversation is today. But I definitely want to thank both of you guys for the perspective today, because both of like it made me think, and I think that this will be helpful for this conversation. I hope that it's helpful for our listeners as well, for our audience. This woman, I just want to say, she's like dope with the words. I mean, I love what you do. And if I don't know if there's anything happening currently or new that you want to let people know, and like where to find you, but if there is, like, you can let them know now.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's lots. So, well, I don't know if you guys have probably seen, I'm doing with Leah, Keisha McFly, we've started McFly World Kids.
Yeah.
So if you have kids, or if you're an educator or just a big kid yourself, we started a YouTube channel, McFly World Culture Learning, where it's hip hop, R&B, funky grooves, reggae beats. We did 10 songs. We made 10 music videos. It's just the beginning. We have the first 5 songs are out on Spotify right now. EP, McFly World Kids Volume 1. Our first 2 music videos are up on YouTube now. We just dropped our second one today, actually, at 3 p.m.
Dope.
So check us out there. So we've been doing that. We have lots in store. We've got 5 more songs coming. We're dropping basically a new video every Thursday for the next few weeks coming up. But we've got lots more. We have to start getting back to working, making some more music, new music for it. But so check out McFly World Kids on Instagram. Yeah. And also I recently finally started working on my own music again, which has been so long
overdue.
Like, everything I've done in the past has been like me redoing something again or re-recording something that I've had for like ever. So fresh slate. I even took like I got music out there, but I took everything off my Bandcamp a couple of months ago. So there's like nothing. So I'm looking really forward. I'm gonna have a new single dropping on April
Vocals is
2nd.
dope, y'all, by the way.
Mhm.
Which?
I know, I'm just saying the vocals is dope. Like,
Oh, thank you. Thanks. La, 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 la. No, but so I'm dropping a new single. I just did all the registering for it today. So it will be out April 7th, called Divine.
Yeah.
It was produced by Elijah Nagazi. So I'm super excited. It's a spoken word piece, this one. So be on the lookout for that. It's coming up soon. And you can find me on Linktree. How does it do? Linktree, Sayla Genesis, Sayla_Genesis.
well, I mean, if your link
or-
tree is in your IG bio,
Yeah, it is. So my IG is Sayla_Genesis. That's SELAH_GENESIS. And then my link tree's in there, and you'll find like all the 1,000 things that I do in that link tree.
Beautiful. You gotta love a link tree. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining us this week on this wind down segment. Don't forget, you can catch full episodes of Breakdown to Lowdown. The link is in the description. The link is in our bio, wherever you're watching, either it's IGTV or YouTube. You can find our link somewhere, you know what I mean, in all of the places where you can listen to our full episodes. Make sure you're following us on social media. On Twitter, we are at real_B2L. On Instagram, we are at Breakdown to Lowdown, and just search Breakdown to Lowdown on Facebook. All of those with the number 2, not the word 2. We will see you guys next week.
All right.
Peace out.